Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Yes, I'm alive, I'm no deed. It's been a week now since the last video I made, last week's video on the Scotland team reaction that I made. It was the last video I made for a whole week. I had a really busy week, kind of. We're just with work and other things on. I never really got the time to sit down and make a video, which really annoyed me because I wanted to get a lot of videos out after the week before, done really well, you know, with the old farm and the views and such, but doing really well, and I was like, right, we're going to follow up with a strong week, and then just, you know, time and such just didn't fall in my favour. But I'm back this week, hopefully back into the swing of things. I could have made a video yesterday, but I decided we'll go for a new week, new fresh start, if you like. So I've started today, Monday night, and today's video we're going to move back onto Celtic. A couple of Celtic related videos this week, but obviously Scotland back, and I'll probably give my reaction to, you know, Big X first game back as Scotland manager and such. There'll be a few videos this week that I think might be quite interesting, so make sure to keep your eyes open on the channel. Today though, we are talking about Celtic, we're talking about our team, and we're thinking forward, heading and progressing forward as a football club. What is next for Celtic in the terms of transfers? We are going to hear transfer rumours coming out sooner rather than later. It's only a matter of time, you know, we're getting into, you know, March now, nearly April. And you know, it's only going to be, I've already heard centre-back rumours here, left, right and centre. Whether there's any truth from them or not is completely, you know, abhorrent at the minute. But right now, I don't even know if that's the right word. Who cares? But there's one man who has had people talking the past few weeks for Celtic, and that man is one of the strikers of the club. It's not Moussa Dembele, we're not talking about him leaving for upwards of £20 million. It's not Lee Griffiths, we're not talking about either. It's Odsonne Edouard, a player who has had his opinion from Celtic fans change quite drastically, I would say, over the past month. I feel like there was a point where people were saying, you know what, he's been alright, nothing special. There's no need for us to go and spend money on bringing a permanent player and even extend that one. There's no need for us to do it next season. Let's just go with Dembele and Griffiths. Maybe find someone else if we need to, but do not spend the money. But then after a couple of very good performances, he came on against Morton. He changed the game, would you say? He came on and helped really Dembele get into the game. He played really well. He was very creative, very good with his movement, and I've spoke about that in a previous video. It's just, he came on and he offered a lot, and we'll talk about that more. And then he scored that winner against Rangers last weekend. A fantastically well-worked goal, a fantastic finish. And this is a guy, this is a 19, 20-year-old guy who has got bags of potential. He is a PSG player, arguably right now the biggest club in the world. Obviously didn't do too well in the Champions League, but this is a team who are taking the headlines with the money they are spending. He's playing for them. His chances at PSG, they're going to be very limited. Let's be honest, he's a guy who's never really going to get the chance to break into that team because they've got money. All they need to do is buy a replacement for Cavani. They're not going to really give these young guys a chance unless they are something incredibly special. And I think, not being disrespectful to fucking Celtic, because when it comes to history, we're a bigger club than PSG. But when you're loaning out a player to Celtic from PSG, I think it really shows where they think he'll be in the future. I don't think he's got a future at PSG, which is no discredit to Odsonne Edouard. I think he's a great young player, but with the money they're spending, he's just not going to be able to keep up with players like Edison Cavani, like these top-rated strikers, Luis Suarez, Harry Kane. He's not going to be up there unless something drastic in his game happens. He's not Henrik Larsson. He's Odsonne Edouard. But you know, after the performances of the last month, especially against Rangers, I think the majority of Celtic fans have swayed from this. He's okay, but don't spend money on him. I think a lot of people have swayed to the side of, let's pay the whatever fee it is meant to be. I think, now don't quote me, it's €9 million, £7 million. We're looking in that sort of region, £7 to £9 million we're talking here. That is the release clause for us to get him. And it would mean if we were to trigger that clause, which is a future fee loan buy thing, you know, it's only us have the option. No one else can pay it and just get him. We can though, because we took him on loan. It means if we were to trigger this, he would become Celtic's most expensive signing ever. And it leaves us, and we need to trigger that before a certain date as well. It's not like we can come back next year, I think, and after he spent a year at PSG in the PSG B team, and say, right, we want to now cash in on... Fuck you. We now want to cash in on this cause. I think we've got to trigger it before he returns back to PSG, or within a certain date anyway, if we want to get him for that. I'm going to say cheap, a fee. For Celtic, it's expensive. Let's be honest, we've got to take a step back and we've got to look at Celtic's finances. And that is a lot of money. We've never spent that sort of money in a player. And for people down south, that will be a laughing matter, that the fact we're talking £7 million is a lot of money, but it's not our fault that Sky don't pump 900 billion trillion pounds into our TV rights every year. It's completely unjust and unfair, but we don't have that to spend just off the collar like that. We need to smartly invest. And Odsonne Edouard could or couldn't be, could or potentially could not be a smart investment. It's a very difficult one. For that larger fee, you're taking a big risk in signing a player. He's a player which by no means I think has a lot of potential. Where do I stand? Answer my question. Should we pay the £7 million release clause to bring him permanently to Celtic? No. Only if we lose Moussa Dembele. I really like Odsonne Edouard. I think he has brought something good to the club. He's not had, you know, tons of chances, but every time he's came on the park, I feel like he has just offered something, especially off the ball. I think he's done well, you know, bringing people into the game. He makes nice moves. The Morton performance especially come to mind. The Rangers performance, you know, you see him getting into these spaces. He does a lot off the ball, which is nice. He is a decent enough finisher. He's scored a few goals now. He's also missed quite a lot of chances as well, as about a couple of times he's been playing at Parkhead. I mean, thinking, Jesus Christ, hurry up and put the ball in the back of the net. You've had chance after chance here. But we should only really pay that if we're going to lose Moussa Dembele, or we lose someone else for quite a big fee. But really, I mean, if we're going to lose Christopher Ajer for £10 million, the money isn't going to be spent on a striker. So really, if Moussa Dembele leaves in the summer, which there is a chance of, we're going to be talking about that summer after window after window after window. We're going to be talking about, will Moussa Dembele stay at Celtic? And this summer, that will be at the height of, you know, the speculation. We're going to hear that non-stop. Moussa Dembele's been linked with Brighton, been linked with Chelsea. If he goes, bring in Edouard. I think it's an ideal replacement. But if Dembele and Griffiths, and I have a slight feeling Dembele will manage to stay for one more season, at least one more window. If Dembele does stay at the club, there's no point in pumping £7 million into a player who's not going to be a starter. He's not going to be a starter. That's the unless he has an epic 3 months to go, the season scores 20 goals, he's not going to start for Celtic next season ahead of Griffiths and Dembele. So £7 million for him to, you know, wait to get his chance would be stupid for a club like Celtic. Yes, in England that's acceptable. Man United pay £7 million, they can loan someone out for 3 years. That's not how it works at Celtic, and it's not how we can make it work at Celtic. It would be a horrible investment and, you know, could end up in problems for Celtic. It could end with a problem. But by no means is a player I'd love to see come to the club, but it's taking a big risk by spending that sort of money, because it's just not normal for Celtic. £6 million for Chris Sutton and John Hartson. That is our record transfer. And that was so long ago when that was actually a lot more money than it is now. But we just don't have those funds that English Premier League clubs have to just go and spend it for someone to just sit on the bench. I do like Edouard. I do. I would love to see him become part of the Celtic team. I would love to see him sign permanently. I think the link-up between him and Moussa Dembele looks promising. It wasn't great yesterday when they had that brief spell in the park together. I think the first 60, 70 minutes of the game. I say brief. It's the majority of the game. It didn't look great against Motherwell. Granted, Motherwell played a very defensive type of football after they went down to 10 men, and they made it difficult for us to break into the game. They made it difficult for both Moussa Dembele and Edouard. But I think those two together really do have something between them. There's another question. Do we pay the money if both of them are going to start together? It is something that I'd like to maybe see Celtic step out and actually just show a bit of intent and spend. But is it the wise idea when we've got other positions on the park that need improving first if we want to move forward on a European level? And on a European level, Moussa Dembele is good enough. He's proved that. He has proved that. Our midfield is good enough to, you know, get to the standards of beating Anderlecht and beating Zenit St. Petersburg. We have the right players. Roberts will be leaving, right? Fair enough. We've got Brown. We've got Sinclair. We've got Musonda. We've got McGregor. We've got Armstrong. Maybe another player in there would be nice. We've got Ncham. We've got Abui. We've got a strong enough midfield. Defensively, though, we need to put the money there first before we even start thinking about Edouard. So I think a lot of Celtic fans are jumping the gun a bit with Edouard. Yes, he's had a decent month. Recently, he has been getting better. There is no doubt about that. But is it to the extent where we jump that gun and pay £7 to £9 million for him and then regret it? Because this isn't no Timu Pukki spending £2 million on him. This is something bigger. And if it turns out to be a waste of money, it could have a detrimental effect on the squad, on the club. It's a lot of money. And I just feel like a lot of fans have jumped the gun a little bit by saying, sign him up right now. Sign him up this instant. I like him. I'd love to see him sign. But do we pay that fee? Not unless Moussa Dembele goes for upwards of 15-20 million pounds. That is when we maybe consider investing 7 million quid into Odsonne Edouard. That is when I would say is the point to sign him. By no means I think he's a good player. I've enjoyed watching him recently as well, and to be honest, I've kind of liked, I wanted to see him get a chance over, say, Griffiths at the start of the season. I was like, let's give this Edouard a chance. And he's taken chances, he's scored a few goals now. He is looking good. But money is not an easy thing for Celtic to come by. And by spending it on a risky player when there is other areas to prove on and jumping that gun, I think would be a mistake. I'm on the fence. I'm 50-50. I'm going to leave a poll on the channel for yous to vote. I want to see what yous think. Make sure and check the community section on the channel. You just go to my channel, then you go to community. I'm going to leave a poll. Should Celtic sign Odsonne Edouard next season for the reported fee of £7-ish million? That's what I want to know. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed my opinion to should we sign Odsonne Edouard. Yesterday's game, I was hoping would lead me more into a positive discussion, because I hope he would have scored or done something big yesterday, but Motherwell made it so difficult, and I don't think we can solely blame Edouard for that. So I still wanted to make this video anyway during the week that just passed, but now just getting on to it. Odsonne Edouard though, nonetheless, I think a player who has great potential. I would love to see him sign. Just wait till at least Dembele goes, I'd say. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time.